Wembanyama continues as he brings in yet another accolade, being named as a part of the NBA's first team all-defensive team, along with Rudy Gobert, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, and Herb Jones. Wemby, the first rookie in history to make first-team all-defense, as he finished second in the league in block, or first in the league in blocks.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history! A walk-off home run!
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pledger wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. Now, here's Pledge.
Welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. Appreciate y'all for joining me, however that may be, whether it's on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or if you're part of our YouTube channel, you can always subscribe, watch there. Go to SA Sports Star on YouTube. Go ahead and like, subscribe. You can comment along with the video. Like a bunch of our bullpen bandits, as Fred Records says. Yo, 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 pledging the bullpen bandits. Let's go. Frank Valdez, who just ended up winning one of our last qualifier spots for the ACL. Like to possibly win 2 3-day wristbands to ACL for weekend 2 with Blank and Dua Lipa, Foster the People, Chris Stapleton. Be sure to tune in every day. This week, we are giving you multiple chances to get registered for 2 different sets of wristbands. One on the Morning Huddle and one on the Blitz. One pair. Morning Huddle, they're getting people registered every morning, 7:30, 8:30, and 9:30. While on the Blitz, we're getting you registered at 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, and 5:30. So be sure to make sure that you're tuned in all day long for your chance to go to a nice 3-day mini vacation, if you will, in October up to Austin and Zilker Park, where you can always have a great time with all the bands that are going on there and stumble upon some new bands that you didn't know you might have liked. One of my favorite things about ACL is stumbling into other acts that I end up enjoying while I'm out there. And of course, you can win them here, but if you don't win them, you can always get your tickets at aclfest.com. Victor Wembanyama. The accolades continue to pour in for him, and I'll tell you what, it is a good feeling to see him getting all the due respect from around the league that he is deserved, despite the Spurs win total, because of how he played this season. And now, this season, as we come into it, there are multiple questions. How do you build this thing out? Is it draft? Because of all the picks you have and what they've done in Oklahoma City and all these other places? Or is it free agency? A lot of us, I think, tend to agree it's a combination of the two, but how do you best do this? So, we had a report come out that at least the Spurs are keeping tabs on one all-star point guard's potential. Who is that all-star point guard? Well, that all-star point guard, in a report by NBA Analysis Network, that the Spurs are among various organizations that have conducted their due diligence on Cleveland Cavaliers point guard Darius Garland as a potential trade candidate. The Spurs are seeking a talented playmaking guard to pair with a Victor Wembanyama. Some within San Antonio's organization are believed to have more interest in Garland than in Trae Young. According to NBA insiders Shams Charania, Joe Varden, and Jason Lloyd of The Athletic, Rich Paul would speak with the Cavaliers about trading Garland if Donovan Mitchell signs an extension this summer. So that brings up the question to Spurs fans, and I'll throw it out to you in the bullpen on our YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube. You can comment along, or you can call into the show at 210-656-ESPN. That is 210-656-3776 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Who do you want? Multiple point guards have been mentioned. DeJounte Murray, Darius Garland. We have had Trae Young's name mentioned, and the name Donovan Mitchell has been thrown about. For me personally, I wouldn't mind, and I've brought his name up on this show, Darius Garland. I think he would fit well as a point guard that does facilitate the ball. I think all of these players have checked a bunch of boxes, but not all the boxes. The point guard that checks the most boxes, in my opinion, is Trae Young. He just doesn't check the obvious defensive box that a lot of people want checked. But he shoots from as soon as he steps across half court. His range is unlimited. You need shooters surrounding Victor Wembanyama, and he is great in the pick and roll game, and he is also fantastic in the lob game, which could accentuate Victor Wembanyama on the offensive end of the floor with whichever it is, his passing ability and his ability to kick it out to an open guy, or his ability to up towards him. I think Trae Young fits a lot of those things. He just doesn't check that box. Darius Garland is a willing defender. I'm not going to say he's a great defender. DeJounte Murray is a great defender. He is okay in the mid-range. He's great at getting to the bucket and doesn't have the outside shot. Darius Garland, kind of the same. He's better slasher, getting to the paint, setting people up. I think he's a better passer than is DeJounte Murray. But, I mean, it's pick your poison. Which boxes do you want checked with each of these players? When you talk about Donovan Mitchell, sure, he could check a lot of boxes for you. He could score. I have questions about Donovan Mitchell's willingness to play in a small market. He wanted out of Utah. He might want out of Cleveland already. His dream is to go home to New York. Would he, once acquired by San Antonio, be more than a couple year rental to where he can finally move to where he wants to go? That's my biggest concern with Donovan Mitchell. It's not that I don't want him. My concern is how long and committed he would be to this market, because he hasn't been. So it all comes down to it. In our bullpen on YouTube, some of the chats that are coming in are Justin Guerrero saying Garland flopped in game 7 with no Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. I mean, let's face it, though. It's not like Cleveland had a lot of offensive firepower to help kind of alleviate anything off of him. And you're not getting a true number one to pair with Wemby if you're getting a Darius Garland. You're getting an ancillary piece, a piece that fits around him, not the 1B piece, if you will. That's not what Garland is. That's not what you should expect Garland to be. But he can be a legitimate upgrade at point guard for this team. And that's one of the pieces that you're possibly looking to acquire, is somebody to take that spot. 656 ESPN 210-656-3776. I saw somebody called in during that. Listen, running the board for my own show. When you call, you're immediately going to go to hold. You're going to hear the radio program. I'm going to get to you as quick as possible. I will play a soundbite to figure out your name to get you on, or I will talk to you during the break and have you on post break. It's just part of running my own thing. And Mark Duca on our YouTube channel brings up a name I was about to bring up just now, is Stephon Castle. who the Spurs have some interest in the draft, whether it's at 4 or 8. He's a champion. He played at UConn. He's a guard. I mean, he would be, especially as a guy who played under Danny Hurley, who Pop always talks about getting over yourself. Danny Hurley famously talks about getting to know the parents, getting to know the players, and figuring out if they're a right culture fit for playing at UConn, because he's going to ask you to do things. He's going to ask you to work hard. He's going to ask you to play all out and not take plays off. That's the type of player that Danny Hurley truly wants playing for his team up there at UConn. And that's kind of similar to the mentality that you may have to play down here in San Antonio. Get over yourself. I think Stephon Castle would be a great potential point guard of the future for the San Antonio Spurs. I also like Donovan Clingan. So there are a couple of guys off that UConn squad that would make a lot of sense right here in San Antonio. But what say you? 210-656-3776. That is 210-656-ESPN. Which player would you most want? Is it a Trey? Is it a DeJounte? Is it a Darius Garland? Is it a Donovan Mitchell? Call, explain. Let me know. Plus, Dak, Trey Lance, and the potential that Trey Lance could be the answer for the Dallas Cowboys. We're talking about that and more, all coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure as we get you ready for Eastern Conference Finals Game 1, Boston and Indiana, here on your home for the NBA playoffs, San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob.
So mad when we watch Peaky Blinders because I start to talk in that voice, and I'm sure if you talked in like the Bridgerton British accent,
I've tried. It hasn't helped.
It doesn't
It
help.
has to be somebody else's accent. Mine isn't getting me down the road at all.
I feel like I do a pretty good Peaky Blinders accent, but my wife,
See, that's not the
for whatever
sexy
reason,
accent.
she is not attracted to that at all.
The blimey! See, that's not going to get you.
Oh, right. Oh,
See,
right.
right. I want to see that doesn't work for anybody, but Mrs. Peaky Blinders.
Yeah, it works for them.
All right, let's
Oh,
go
oh,
a break.
oh.
It's the morning huddle. It's sit right here on 94.1. That's Sports Star San Antonio.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Dave Ramsey here from my friends over at Connecticut in San Antonio. Trust me, Connecticut water systems are the best of the best. I personally have one in my home. All those other water softener systems out there are junk in comparison. Connecticut uses less water and runs on kinetic energy. So there's no computer to break, fewer moving parts, and it works only when you need it. It was even voted most efficient water softener in the world by the Water Quality Association. The team at Connecticut San Antonio can test your water, install a system, and provide treatment all without stepping a foot inside your home.
I'm Chris Canepa of Connecticut and San Antonio in the Hill Country. I'll let you try a Connecticut quality water softener for 90 days absolutely free. Call us at 656-PURE, that's 656-7873, or visit us on ConnecticutSA.com.
And tell them Dave Ramsey sent you.
Call 656-PURE, Connecticut.
Some people just know there's a better way to do things, like bundling your home and auto insurance with Allstate, or going to the grocery store for milk instead of buying your own cow. You know there's an easier and better way. Save up to 25% when you bundle home and auto with Allstate.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Angie's List is now Angie, and we've heard a lot of theories about why.
I thought it was an eco move. Fewer words, less paper.
No, it was so you could say it faster.
No, it's to be more iconic.
Must be a tech thing.
But those aren't quite right. It's because now you can compare upfront prices, book a service instantly, and even get your project handled from start to finish.
Sounds easy.
It is, and it makes us so much more than just a list. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Texas weather this time of year means storms, wind, rain, and hail. You know, if you were hit with the recent storms and you think you have roof damage, don't make the situation worse by putting your faith in one of those out-of-town storm chasers. Work with a local roofing company with years of experience. Work with a company whose people live in our area and deal with the same weather we do. That's Stevens Roofing, 210-785-0994. Or you can get them online at stevensroofing.net. Buy local, stay local, trust local with Stevens Roofing. With a true Vegas feel, the Big Blind is the premier poker room in San Antonio, featuring an upscale environment catering to players from all abilities. From high-octane tournaments or lively cash games, the Big Blind has a game for everyone, including blackjack tournaments. From the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant, the Big Blind is locally owned and operated, offering daily cash games to daily, weekly, and monthly tournaments. Learn more online at thebigblindsa.com. The Big Blind at 281 and Redland Road.
Check out the Morning Huddle with Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Angel Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I appreciate y'all for joining in. Jeff McClanahan on our YouTube channel says, don't do anything to help Atlanta get better. If you're taking players off their roster, their better ones, are you making them better? I mean, just wonder. Goldfinger 123 says the talk before Trey Lance was not going to make the roster. Now it's that he's the answer. You're right. That has been a wild turn of events for Trey Lance over the last few months in terms of where he's at. But I hear them talking about wanting to give him all the reps this offseason. They know what they have in Cooper Rush. They know what they have in Dak Prescott. That means that he hasn't shown it, and they want him to show it. The problem is, between his last year in college, which was COVID shortened to one game, his injury-plagued seasons in San Francisco, and last year in Dallas, he just hadn't played. Since 2020, this kid hasn't played. And QB is a lot like anything else. It is reps. You need reps. I remember starting in the industry here. The only thing that can make you better, and a lot of people ask, how do you start a podcast? Get reps. Reps make you better at most things that you do in life. Repetition is key. And Trey Lance just hasn't had the opportunity to get many reps in his career. I mean, it's very, very obvious that they want this to succeed. But they want it to succeed because it's been a failure. Because he wasn't active at all last year. Because they gave up a 4th-round pick when just a few months later, all the other quarterbacks not named Trevor Lawrence that also went in that draft class have been traded for a conditional 6th or later. The Cowboys have egg on their face with Trey Lance, and they're trying to find out the best possible way to solve it. I heard this morning as Goldfinger is pointing out on our YouTube chat, AJ Hoffman was talking about him as an unscratched lottery ticket. No, he's been scratched. He just hasn't been scratched all the way off. There's a box or two left, but your odds of that box being the right box aren't great on what's left on that scratcher to still scratch off. I was a huge fan of Trey Lance coming out of North Dakota State. I thought there was a chance that he could probably be the best draft in that quarterback in that draft class. I can also admit I might have been wrong about that. And part of that is the potential. Yeah, he's got plenty of potential. So much potential that San Francisco traded 3 first-round picks to move up to get him. But also a noted quarterback guru that everybody loves to thrust upon Kyle Shanahan, within a couple of years, decided, I need to move this guy. I am better off with 7th-round pick Brock Purdy, getting rid of Jimmy Garoppolo, and having Sam Darnold as his backup. He is so beloved by the Cowboys that he could potentially be the very next quarterback to supplant Dak Prescott, that the Cowboys took his number and gave it to Zeke. That doesn't sound like a quarterback that the Cowboys have a lot of faith in. It sounds like a quarterback the Cowboys are trying to hype up when there is no evidence to support the hype. It is a lot of hope that with opportunity comes some potential growth. But I don't know that he can beat out Cooper Rush. We all know what Cooper Rush is, but Cooper Rush is also a quarterback that went 4-1 and beat the Cincinnati Bengals led by Joe Burrow. They're also a team that came in and beat a pretty good Minnesota Vikings team when Dak Prescott suffered a calf injury. Cooper Rush is a guy that you can trust to come in and get it done. I don't think anybody knows that they believe that they can trust Trey Lance. And so when I start hearing, let's just move on, we'll sign Trey Lance, he'll be cheaper. Okay, just know if you're signing Trey Lance, you've officially hit rebuild. You've entering the rebuild phase. And at that point, it really doesn't make a lot of sense to re-sign CeeDee Lamb. Maybe you should trade him and Micah Parsons, get what you can for him, and do a complete and total rebuild. Because it is really hard to win in this league without a quarterback, and there are very few quarterbacks in this league that can get you an opportunity to get into the postseason every single year. And if you want to hit reboot, I get it. Hit reboot, blow it all up, and start over. Just know that that process can usually last for a long time. This is Extra Innings with Pledger. I am James Pledger right here on San Antonio Sports Star. Coming up next, Game 1, Pacers, Celtics from Boston Garden in Boston. We'll see you tomorrow.
94.1.
Hi, my name is Jason Thompson. I'm an attorney here in San Antonio representing people and families who've been injured in traffic collisions since 1994. The reason it's important to call me as soon as possible is the number of tricks and mistakes you can make, even up to talking to insurance companies, which I'm going to tell you not to do. And also some of the billing practices at our local hospitals. And over the last year, I've seen more and more of this, where hospitals are asking patients to assign benefits they do not have to assign, all in an effort to get more money to the hospital than they would receive if all you used was your health insurance. When you call, I will give you your options. We'll talk about your case. And all of that is free of charge. If you or a family member has been injured in a traffic accident, whether car, commercial truck, motorcycle, I want you to call me as soon as possible